So the topic of today's practice is flowers, fruits and seeds. We will mostly discuss flowers, and we will have another topic about the seeds and fruits. So you're already familiar with the structure of the flowers, and the flowers consist of the four main parts. First is sepal, second is petal, third is stamen, and fourth is carpel. So could you please repeat the names of the parts of the flower? Sepal, petal, stamen, and carpel. Jasmine? Mohammed? Anyone there?
Yeah, yes. I'm here.
Sepal. Repeat after me, please. Sepal.
Seven?
Yes, sepal. So this is a sepal. Then petal.
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 Petal. Okay. Stamen.
Stamen.
Stamen. And carpel.
Stam-
Carpel.
Carpal.
Yes, carpel. Here it is, carpel. So, sepal,
Carpal.
petal, stamen, carpel.
Sepal, petal, stamen, carpal.
That's very good. Thank you very much, Mohammed. So, these actually four parts, and so the main important part, and also there is a receptacle. Receptacle, actually, usually we don't use this definition. So the main parts are sepal, petal, stamen, and carpel. So the stamen are the male parts and carpels are female parts. Jasmine, are you still there?
Yes.
So could you please repeat the flower parts? Sepal, petal, stamen, and carpel.
Sepal, petal, stamen, carpel.
Okay, good. Very, very good. Thank you very much. And the carpels are the female parts. So that is why are more important for the female part of our group. That is actually just been you now, only you. So uh, the uh, the carpels can be normal or composite. So when there are several carpels in one flower, they are usually fused like this one, and they are called pistil. So pistils are the complex carpels, and then inside the carpels there are ovules. So ovules are the uh, ovules are parts that contain the egg cells. So each ovule have will produce one egg cell, and then the also the these ovules are located in the ovary. So like uh, same as in the animals, uh, they are located in the ovary, and then the neck of the carpel is called style, and the top is called stigma. So the pollen grains will go to the stigma, and then they will make a tube that allows the sperm cells to fuse with the egg cell. So these are parts of the flower, and some flowers will not have all parts, like some flowers may lack the sepal or petal, and some of them have only female parts and others have only male parts. So the male parts are actually stamen that have filament, and the anther filament is a long leg which will hold the anther, and anther has pollen grains, and each of the pollen grains will produce 2 sperm cells. So unlike in animals, the pollen grains have 2 sperm cells, and the reason for that we will you already know about that from the lecture, but we will remind it later. So that is because of the double fertilization. Because of the flower, the plants become very successful in reproduction, and both sexually and asexually, and because of the flowers, the plants are admired for the beauty of the flower and for the odors of the flower. Jasmine, do you use fragrances? Mohammed, do you use fragrances?
Again, please. I didn't hear.
Do you use fragrances?
Pregnancies?
Yes.
What does that mean?
That means uh, the spray water that will give us good smell. A perfume.
Yeah.
You
And
use?
yes.
What kind of? Can you show me?
Okay, 1 second.
What is the brand?
Zava.
Zor?
Zava.
Can I look?
Yeah. Just give me a second, okay?
Okay.
Is this one?
Okay, 1 moment. It's Zara?
Yeah.
Zara. Oh, we have that brand too. So, is it smells good?
Yeah. Very.
So, do you use it every day?
Yeah,
Every day?
kind of.
Does it attract uh, the girls?
I don't know. Maybe
Maybe.
sometimes.
Okay. So the most of the perfumery have a flower scent in them. So uh, the those who produce in Zara the uh, uh, the designers, they use different flowers scents and they combine them, and then they will make it announce a new perfumery. And then actually perfumery is an alcohol, water, and some of the flower scents. So uh, the flower order. So actually you can make it yourself for free because flowers are all around. But Mohammed,
Really?
what is the cost of this perfumery?
Uh, it's cost
أكثر من العسل.
$50, I think.
$50? Really? So expensive. So, and actually it is water, alcohol, and a fancy bottle. That is. So the flowers are actually so for free. You can get it
So,
for free. So
so just water, alcohol, and what?
and the scent of the flower. So the
Sand of the flower?
yeah. So do you smell the flowers? They have a smell, right?
Yeah.
So uh, the designers, those who produce the perfumery, they take 2-3 flowers, combine the their order, and they put it in the uh, in the perfumery, and they tell that this is a very good smell that will attract every woman or the man. So that depends. So usually they are like for men and for women. So those that are for the men usually should attract women, and vice versa. Those who are for the men or for the women should attract the men. So actually
So
the
using just alcohol and sand of the flower.
yes,
Just that.
yes,
Maybe I would make one for myself.
you can make actually you can take a flower, put the flower to the water, and then water becomes with some smell, and then you can use that water to produce uh, uh, a perfumery.
Yes,
So
I will.
and then you can sell it for the $50. So that is easy money.
Yeah.
So and also that is the reason men will buy flowers for the women. So uh, Jasmine, Esma, uh, have you have someone gifted you a flowers? Fatma, maybe for you.
Yes, I'm here.
So when was the last time someone gifted you flowers?
My friend gave me a flower from last year. Yeah.
So what was the type of the flower? What was the flower?
Uh, I don't know. Uh, Rosa?
Rosa,
Yeah.
rose.
Yeah.
Fatma, do you know
Yeah.
that when a man will gift you roses, that means he loves you.
Not man, not man. My friend is Ella.
Sorry, what?
My friend Ella, not man.
Not man. So that means that your friend loves you.
Yeah.
Because the roses are red. And was that red roses?
What?
What was the color of the roses?
Red.
Red? Okay, so if that were red, that means that she is in love with you. So probably you have to pay more attention to your friend now, because your friend is actually not your friend and is your lover. So
I think you know my friend
I
before.
don't.
Do you know Muhammad
Muhammad, that was
Ella?
Muhammad, right?
Muhammad Ella, no, Ella Saleh from pharmacy.
From pharmacy, Muhammad.
Fourth year, Muhammad Ella.
Oh, Allah, I know Allah. So that means that she
Yeah.
loves you. So probably you should uh like uh tell her thank you, and then you should maybe go to out with her. So because roses are the actually the flowers of the love, especially if they are red. And the reason for that,
أيوة أيوة.
so and the reason for that is that they smell very good, so and attractive. So and that is why men will usually give the roses, and the smell is attractive. So that is why uh, the women will fall in love to the men who uh, gives the roses. So and the same is with the insects. The insects feel the smell of the flower, and they are attracted by the smell, and that is why they uh, uh, they start to pollinate the flowers. So the flowers produce a special nectar that is actually one of the reasons for the uh, good smell is the nectar. And nectar is actually a very sweet and good smelling substance that attracts the insects and other animals like all the humans and women also. And this smell uh, is actually used in the perfumery. Uh, the uh, and insects attracted by the smell of the nectar, they collect that and use it as a food. So especially bees. Uh, does someone likes honey? Someone tried an honey in their life at least once? Honey. Do you know what is the honey?
Of course.
What is the honey?
It's the food, some kind of sweet food.
Sweet food.
That the bees, yes.
So how it is produced?
I don't know.
The bee. It is produced from the bee.
From the bee. It's produced by the bee. So the bees
Yeah.
collect the nectar from the flowers, and
Yes.
eventually they make honey, and it is very
Yeah.
sweet.
Yes, of course.
So, and I know that in Muslim countries it is very common, so it's very expensive. So sweets are usually with the plenty of the uh, honey. So it's traditional food in Turkey and uh, Arabic countries. So uh, and it is collected by the bees, and bees are the main uh, pollinators. So because they have a huge, so they have a large number. So and in a beehive, there are plenty of bees, and they are very work. Uh, they work very hard, so they work all the day and all the night. So,
It is honey.
Donny,
It is work too hard to collect the honey.
yes,
Bee
they
queen. Yeah.
collect honey, and uh, so and then the people will collect honey from the beehive.
Yes.
So we actually are tricking the bees. So we build some special beehives and they collect the bee for themselves, but then we will go and take them without asking. So and then they collect more. So that is why they like like uh, they don't think like they cannot tell that it's our honey. Don't go and. But sometimes actually, if you take it uh, uh, like the incorrect way, they can bite you. So
Yeah.
that is why you should put a special net to your face and
Yes.
so to your body, so they don't bite you. Okay, so let's return to the flower pots. So the nectar is usually produced inside the flower, somewhere here. So there is a special pots that produce the nectar. So and I don't know if women more like the odor of the flowers or the uh, look of the flowers. So, but anyway, they are attracted to the flowers, and men are usually that is why men are usually will buy flowers when they fall in love. Or women also if they fall in love to another woman. So actually, uh, that's become quite a common in the modern society. Uh, so and the function of the flowers is a sexual reproduction. So actually, the same function as in the human, the most important function. Uh, and that is why everything in the flower is making the pollination more likelihood, and the bigger the flower, the more it is attractive, the more it smells good for the insects, then the more is the likelihood of the pollen grain to be transferred from the one flower to another flower. So the guys, when you select flowers for your loving woman, so that is why you should also select the bigger flowers that are more attractive and more beautiful, so and they smell good. So so you can increase your chances that the woman will be attracted to you. And sexual reproduction is a fusion of the reproductive cells, eggs and sperm cells, and so they are called gametes. So gametes are the reproductive cells that are eggs in female flowers and sperm in male flowers. And the offspring of the plants that reproduce sexually show considerable genetic variation, and they have common features of the parent plants, and some of the features will be new, so that are not present in the parent plants. The same as in the animals, like every of you have some features of your mother and father, then but still you may have some look that, but you are different from your mother or father. You resemble them, like you may have a same color of the hair or same color of the eyes, and the face can be look uh, alike, especially when you grow up, but still you are different from your parents, and this is called a genetic variation. And sexual reproduction offers the advantage for the new combination of genes because they are not found in either of the parents. And these new gene combinations may make an individual plant better for the environment. Like if we will make the same plants all the time, then if for example the temperature will go down and all of them will die at once, but if we make a different flowers, different plants, some of them may be more resistant to the low temperature, and that increases the survival chances. And those plants that survive will pass their genes to their offsprings, and those offsprings now will all have the cold resistance, so they will not die in the next generation they will not die. So this is why this is called the selection. So it's was postulated by the Darwin. So selection, that is natural selection, is the way of the evolution of the life. Like if you are a man and you are dating a woman, then if you are good enough, and then the woman will select you, so will agree to have a sexual reproduction with you, then you will pass your genes to the children, and then your children will be common to you. So, and like if you are good, your children will be also good. Like you will be healthy, then you will have a lot of money, and like you will look well. So but if you are not, like if you are looking bad, and then you are not physically or strength, so then you may not able to attract a woman, so you will not have a chance to pass your genes to the next generation, and then you will die alone. So this is the natural selection. So that is why most of the men want to be the strong, the attractive, and also have a lot of money, so they can attract another woman. So the same way as the flowers attract pollinators, the same way women or men will attract opposite sex. And some of them will also use fragrances, so they will use flowers for that purpose. So also the flowers, flowering plants will reproduce asexually, and asexual reproduction usually involves uh, the stems or the modified roots, while the sexual reproduction involves the flowers, fruits, and seeds. And during the asexual reproduction, the existing plant expands, grows, and then becomes separated from the rest of the plant, and this part that is divided from the parent plant will form an independent plant. And because the asexual reproduction only involves one parent and no fusion of gametes, that is the sperm cells and the eggs, occurs, then the offspring of asexual reproduction will be virtually genetically identical to the parent plant and to each other, so there will be no genetic variation. So the flowers are a reproductive parts that usually consist of sepals, petals, stamens, and carpels, and they are arranged in whorls. or circles. And at the end of the peduncle, there is sepals, then usually petals, then stamen and carpel. The peduncle may terminate in a single flower or a cluster of flowers known as inflorescence, and inflorescence can be different. So on this slide you can see different types of the inflorescence. And the head inflorescence is when the flowers are located on the one common receptacle. Umbel is forming a umbelliferum formed like umbrella. So sometimes you can use it for protection from the rain. So some flowers can be large. And then raceme is a Christmas tree-like structure, left, right, left, right. So, and then a spike when you have flowers attached directly to the stem without a long peduncle. Then panicler and corymb. So these are the types of the inflorescence. And you can see examples here also, like sunflower is actually a head, and water pennywort is a umbel, and fireweed is a raceme. Then the elephant heads are the spike. So elephant's heads have flowers that represents the nose of the elephant. So this is the name is given by the look of the flowers. Then false spike knot is a panicle, and the common tansy is a corymb. So these are the inflorescence. And sorry, the flower the flower that has all four parts, sepals, petals, stamens, and carpels, is said to be a complete flower. And if it doesn't, then it will be incomplete. So incomplete flower lacks one or more of these four parts. A flower that has both stamens and carpels is described as a perfect flower, and imperfect flower has stamens or carpels but not both. So this flower is actually perfect flower, and it is complete flower because we have sepals, petals, stamens, and carpels. So for example, if we don't have female pods or male pods, then it will be a non-perfect flower. or imperfect flower. So where the plant will have female flowers and male flowers. So male flowers will only have stamen, and female flowers will only have carpels. Or sepals, which constitute the outermost and lowest whole of floral shoot, are leaf-like, so they are green, and they have leaf-like shape and form, and they protect flower. So sepals cover the flower plants when the flower is a bud. So as you remember, flowers will grow from the bud, and bud is actually closed flower. And as the blossom opens from a bud, the sepals fold back to reveal the more conspicuous petals, and the collective term for all sepals of a flower is a calyx. So sepal, this is one sepal, but there are like many sepals, and like all the sepals of the flower around, they're called calyx. The whole just inside and above the sepals consist of petals. So petals are usually broad, flat, and thin, but they are tremendously varied in shape and frequently have bright color that attracts pollinators. And petals play an important role in ensuring that sexual reproduction will occur. Sometimes petals used to form a tube. For example, these flowers here, an elephant head, they have a tube that looks like the elephant nose. Or can be any other shape. So sometimes they look like snapdragons. So so the collective term for all petals of a flower is corolla. So I don't know if you are familiar with the name of the vehicle brand Toyota Corolla. Mohammed, are you familiar?
Yes,
So do you know the Toyota brand?
of course,
And do you know Corolla?
of course. Me
Sure.
too.
So this is named name of the Corolla comes from the plants, from the from the botany.
Mhm.
Have you know about that?
No, it is my first time.
First time. So now you know, and someone if ask you about the Corolla, so then you may explain that it is the uh, collective name for the petals of the flower. So actually the designer of the car was fond of the flowers, and that is why he named the car after the uh, most attractive part of the flower. So Actually, it's very it's very uh, uh, luxury luxury car, and it's very reliable. Toyota is actually, and also most expensive of the brands. So just inside and above the petals are the stamens. Each stamen has a thin stalk called a filament, at the top of which is an anther. So this is a stalk that is called filament, and this is an anther. An anther is a sac-like structure in which pollen grains form. For sexual reproduction to occur, pollen grain must be transferred from the anther to the carpel. So from the anther to the carpel, but not the same carpel, but another carpel, because you don't want to have a sexual reproduction with the same flower. So usually flowers would prefer that their pollens go to another flower. So even though they have their own carpels, they don't like to put their sperm cells to themselves. So they put it to another flower that is located on another plant. So this is the same as the animals. So animals, like usually males, prefer to put their sperm to another animal that is usually a female. And of course it should be the same species, like humans prefer only humans, same flowers of particular species, like roses will prefer roses only. So roses will not put their sperm cells to another, like lilies, for example. So at first, each pollen grain consists of two cells surrounded by a tough outer wall. So the wall will protect the pollen from the environment. One cell generates two male gametes, known as sperm cells, and the other produces a pollen tube through which the sperm cells travel to reach the ovule. In the center or in the top of the most flower is one or more carpels. So here it is the center. Carpels bear ovules, which are structures that have the potential to develop into seeds. We are talking about the potential because they need to be fused with the sperm cells. So not all ovules will develop into seeds. So because there are plenty of the ovules, but not all of them. The carpels of a flower may be separate or fused, and if they are fused into a single structure that is called a pistil. So so a pistil may consist of a single carpel, and then it is called a simple pistil, or it may consist of a group of fused carpels, like in this picture, and and then it is called compound pistil. In most flowers, each carpel or group of few carpels has 3 sections: a stigma, that is at the top, like a hoe of the bottle, then the neck, uh, that is called style, through which the pollen tube will grow, and ovary. Ovary is a jug-like structure that contains one or more ovules. So these are ovules. These small round are ovules, and each of them can develop into fruit. Each ovule contains a female gametophyte, also known as embryo sac, in which develop one female gamete, an egg, and 2 polar nuclei. One moment. And so these will participate in the fertilization. And an ovary is designated as superior or inferior depending on its location relative to other floral parts, and this character is used a great deal in classification of the flowering plants. A superior ovary is one that has the other floral parts, that is sepal, petals, and stamens, free from the ovary and attached to an ovary's base. So this is superb ovary, when the ovary is above other parts. An inferior ovary is one that is located below the point at which the other floral pods are attached. So these are 2 types of the ovary location. Before fertilization occurs, a pollen grains must travel from the anther, where they form, to the stigma. So from the anther of the stamen to the stigma of the carpel. So from here to here. The transfer of pollen grains from anther to stigma is known as pollination. Plants are self-pollinated if pollination occurs within the same flower or within a different flower on the same individual plant. Cross-pollination occurs when pollen grains are transferred to a flower on another individual of the same species, and cross-pollination is better. Flowering plants accomplish pollination in various ways. Beetles, bees, flies, butterflies, moths, wasps, and other insects pollinate many flowers. Other animals such as birds, bats, snails, and small non-flying mammals also pollinate plants. Wind is an agent of pollination for certain flowers, whereas water transfers pollen grains in a few aquatic flowers, like in a water lily. And in plant sexual reproduction, the 2 gametes gametes that unite to form a zygote, that is fertilized egg, may be from the same plant or from two different plants. The combination of gametes from two different plants increases the variation in offspring, and this variation may confer a selective advantage. Some offsprings, for example, may survive environmental changes better than either of the parents. And plants have evolved a variety of mechanisms that prevent self-pollination, that thus prevent inbreeding, which is the mating of genetically similar individuals. Inbreeding is generally undesirable because it can increase the concentration of harmful genes in the offspring. To avoid inbreeding, some species have individuals with the staminate flowers that lack carpels, and other individuals with carpellate flowers that lack stamens. Other species have flowers with both stamens and carpels, but the pollen grains are shed from a given flower before or after time that the stigma of that flower is receptive to pollen grains. So like in this flower, these pollen grains will be, at the time the pollen grains will be ready, the stigma will be closed. So then the pollen grains will go out, and only then the stigma will be ready to accept pollen. But because this pollen already go out, then it will accept another pollen. So uh, and many species have genes for self-incompatibility, a genetic condition in which pollen grains are ineffective in fertilizing the same flower or other flowers in the same individual plant. In other words, an individual plant can identify and reject its own pollen grains, and genes for self-incompatibility usually inhibit the growth of the pollen tube in the stigma and style. So once the grain will land the stigma, the pollen tube will not form, and then this prevents the fertilization. And that prevents the sperm cell delivery to the ovule. Self-incompatibility, which is more common in wild species than in cultivated plants, ensures that reproduction occurs only if the pollen grains come from a genetically different individual. The molecular basis of self-incompatibility and in Arabidopes and related plants is an area of active botanical interest. Research suggests that self-incompatibility in these plants is the ancestral condition. Self-fertile individuals contain mutations, changes in the DNA in one or more genes involving in self-incompatibility. So the animal pollinators and the plants they pollinate have had such a close, independent relationship over time that they have affected the evolution of certain physical and behavioral features in one another. In turn, coevolution describes such reciprocal adaptation in which two species interact so closely that they become increasingly adapted to each other as each undergoes evolutionary change by natural selection. Let us examine some of the features of flowers and their pollinators that may be the product of co-evolution. Flowers pollinated by animals have various features to attract them, including showy petals, usually a visual attractant, and scent, an olfactory attractant. So the same as in the humans. So if you want to attract, if you go to a date, usually you try to put the best clothes you have, so you are looking attractive, and also you will put you will use a perfumery to attract. Mostly women do that things, but some men also. One reward for the animal pollinator is food. Some flowers produce nectar as sugary solution in special floral glands called nectaries. Pollinators use nectar as an energy-rich food. Pollen grains are also a protein-rich food for many animals. As they move from flower to flowering to searching for food, pollinators inadvertently carry pollen grains on their body parts, facilitating sexual reproduction in plants. So most of the animals search for the food, but they are not aware that the pollen grains stick to their bodies. So they are so attracted by the food, like bees. So they are in a hurry, and that is why they don't notice the pollen grains. But pollen grains is a dust-like structure, and it will stick to the hair of the insects or animals. Sorry, and then when they move to another flower, those pollen grains that stick to the hair will be transferred to the stigma of the ovary, sorry, stigma of the carpels, and then the fertilization will occur. Botanists estimate that insects pollinate about 70% of all flowering plant species. Bees are particularly important as pollinators of crop plants. Bee-pollinated crops provide about 30% of human food. So imagine that every third bite of an apple you make, this is provided by the bees. So if you kill all the bees on the planet, then your food will be 30% less. Like you have to what do you do during the Ramadan? Mohammed,
Yes, I'm here.
what do you do during Ramadan? Ramadan
Fasting.
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 So if you kill all the bees, then you will be fasting every third day. Not only during Ramadan.
I didn't hear you. Can you repeat again?
So you are only fasting during Ramadan, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but if you kill all the bees on the planet, then you will be fasting every third day. Like 2 days you will eat, and then third day you will fast. Do you know why?
Why? No, I don't know.
Because the bees produced 1/3 of the food. So
New.
they transfer, they pollinate the flowers. They pollinate 30% of the flowers. If they will not pollinate them, the flowers will not develop into the seeds and fruits, so you will not be able to eat that fruit. And that is why you have to fast every third day, like, because there will be no 30% of the food on the earth. So
I understand.
and food will be expensive. Like, you will only have money to buy food every 2 days. Like, in a week you will have to buy, you will buy foods only 4 days, and then Sunday, Saturday you will fast, because you don't have money to buy the food, because the food will be more expensive.
I won't eat food at all.
Won't eat at all, then you will die.
So it's the same.
Sorry?
So it's okay.
That's what's scary. Then you should keep bees. Don't kill the bees, and give them,
Okay,
okay, and give them place to, like, don't cut the trees, don't damage the atmosphere. So when you see a bee, then you should tell, thank you very much for pollinating our flowers, so we can eat food every day. And plants pollinated by insects often have blue or yellow petals. The insect eye does not see colors the same way the human eye does. So this is the way the bees will see, like this one. It's yellow flower, but the bees will see it like this, and because they see in ultraviolet spectrum. Do you know what is the ultraviolet?
What?
Do you know what is the ultraviolet spectrum?
No, I don't know.
Do you study physics?
Yeah, in high school.
So in high school, ultraviolet, like, okay, then question for the females, for the girls. Do you make a nail polish?
I make what?
No, this is for female only, not for the male. Girls.
Didn't hear.
Girls. Someone. Fatma. Jasmine. Asma. Anywhere from the female part of the group here. I have very important questions for you. Fatma, Asma, Jasmine. Fatma, do you polish your nails? Fatma. Jasmine, maybe you? So when you apply a nail polish.
Sorry, doctor. I see you speaking, but I can't hear you.
So
I can't hear anything.
switch on your speakers if you can hear. So do you use a nail polish? So if you use a nail polish, then the modern nail polish, when you apply nail polish, then you should use an ultraviolet lamp. So it will remain on your nails. So this is the ultraviolet. So for the man, like Mohammed, do you know how to check the money if they are real money or not fake?
Yes, I think that I can.
So do you have you seen like special lamps in the banks? Usually they put the money and then the money will reveal some hidden pictures.
Uh, Sorry, I didn't hear what did you say.
So when you want to check a money if it's fake or not, you put it to the ultraviolet lamp, special lamp to check the money, and then the money will be fluorescenting. So this is an ultraviolet.
I think that's an X-ray or something like that.
Yes, it's not X-ray, but it will fluorescent. This is so this is actually the same flower under the ultraviolet spectrum. So the bees will see it like this. So if humans have eyes of the bees, they can check the money without special equipment. So with the naked eye. So the insect's eye does not see color the same way as the human eye does. Most insects see well the violet, blue, and yellow ranges of visible light, but does not perceive red as a distinct color. Consequently, insect-pollinated flowers are not usually red, and insects also see ultraviolet radiation wavelengths that are invisible to human eye. Insects see ultraviolet radiation as a color called bees purple. Many flowers, so this is actually purple at the center. In human will see it same yellow, but bees will see it here it will be blue and here it will be purple. And consequently, insect pollinated flowers are not usually red. Many flowers have dramatic ultraviolet making called nectar guards that may or may not be visible to humans, but that direct insects to the center of the flower where the pollen grains and nectars are, like in this flower. So pollen grains are here and the nectar guards are here too. Insects have a well-developed sense of smell, and many insect-pollinated flowers have strong scents that may be pleasant or foul to humans. The carrion flower, for example, is pollinated by flies and smells like the rotten flesh in which flies lay their eggs. As flies move from one reeking flower to another, looking for a place to lay their eggs, they transfer pollen grains. Uh, uh, Unfortunately, the eggs of the fly on the flower will die because they will starve after they hatch, because normally they use a rotten flesh for the as a food. Birds such as hummingbirds are important pollinators. Bird pollinated flowers are usually red, orange, or yellow because birds see well in this region of visible light. Because birds do not have a strong sense of smell, bird-pollinated flowers usually lack a scent. Hummingbird-pollinated flowers have a long tubular corolla with nectar glands at the bottom. The bird hovers beside the flower and inserts its beak and long tongue inside the lapped up the nectar. Hummingbirds pollinated flowers produce more nectar than insect-pollinated flowers because hummingbirds are larger animals than insects and therefore require more food. Bats, which feed at night and do not see well, are important pollinators, particularly in the tropics, where they are most abundant. Bat-pollinated flowers are night-blooming and often have dull white petals and a strong scent, usually a fermented fruit. Nectar-feeding bats are attracted to the flowers by their scent. They lap up the nectar with their long, extensible tongues. As they move from flower to flower, they transfer pollen grains. At least one bat-pollinated flower has evolved an unusual adaptation to encourage pollination by bats. When the pollen grains in a given flower are mature, a concave petal lifts up. The petal becomes the echo from the bat's echo-locating callback to the bat, helping it find the flower. So some flowers are adapted to the bats and help them to locate them using the echolocator. Because bats don't see at the night, they use an echolocator to for orientation. Sorry. During the time when plants were co-evolving, specialized fishes as petals, scent, and nectar to attract pollinators, animal pollination also co-evolved. Specialized body parts and behaviors adapted animals to obtain nectar and pollen grains, and coincidentally to assist the plant in transferring pollen grains. So so this is the one step in the pollination. Other plants such as grasses, raw wheat, maples, and oaks are pollinated by the wind. Wind-pollinated plants produce many small, inconspicuous flowers. They do not produce large, colorful petals, scent, or nectar. Some have large, feathery stigmas, presumably to trap the wind-borne pollen grains. Because wind pollination is a hit or miss affair, the likelihood of a pollen grain landing on a stigma of the same species of flower is slim. Wind-pollinated plants produce large quantities of pollen grains, which increases the likelihood that some pollen grains will land on the appropriate stigma. Okay, let's stop at this point and then we will continue the next week. Any questions? So if no question, thank you for attending. See you next week. Bye bye.